All right. Woo, swing that around. Pardon me. While I flip this around. Thank you for joining. I am getting it all set up. So if you're watching the replay, you might want to pop forward a little bit. I got to open up my computer. Actually, let me turn you this way. See if that works. Okay, why are we being so tiny on the computer? Oops, move that one. All right, there is my big old head on the screen. Hello, Miss Kim in Alaska. Gonna do my live chat, pop out chat first. And then Barbara, thanks for joining. Hello, Cindy. Go ahead and put that on live chat so we don't miss much. All right. I've been popping around Facebook lately and watching YouTube videos, and I wanted to kind of talk about foiling and paper and kind of go over some little tips about paper. And you know, Nancy has super in-depth and she has her recommendations and stuff. And I just want to kind of go over that again. Hi, Karen and Jean. Thank you so much for joining today. Okay, so I'm going to flip this around. Flip camera. And we're going to go down. And I guess today is going to be like foiling on a budget. Make sure that gets my screen, because I've been watching some and reading, not in our Foiling Snobs Club, but I almost joined another Facebook. Hi, Miss Tracy and Sherry D. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I've been reading some posts in other groups that it's like all they recommend is 100-pound paper, 100-pound paper. I need a printer that does 100-pound paper. Well, yeah. Sure, you could. This is 120-pound paper. I could send it through my printer. I've done it before, but I don't need to. This is my base. This is the paper. It's expensive, so I only use it for my base. And so you have this super thick card that's going to be your base. Why would you want to foil something that's just as thick and stack it up? I don't see any purpose of that. So what I did is I went from super cheap to a little bit more pricey papers, but not my 120-pound. See, this is my opaque 120, and I love this stuff. It's very rigid. I don't know if you can see, but there's like no bend. See how nice that is? There's like no bend in that paper. So this is a good base. But if you don't have money for the 120 or anything thicker, you know what? 65-pound, 80-pound, that all works. I started making thank you cards, and these are just 65-pounders. They're nothing spectacular, but you know what? They foil. I did the print and the color and then ran it through my doodad so it will foil. But these are just simple little thank you cards, okay? I don't need to do this on 100-pound paper. There's no reason for it. It gets shipped in the mail as a little thank you if anybody, you know, sends me something or just a little something. Hi, Carol and Carmen. Did I say hello to Carmen? Okay, but so even though you could do the same thing on the heavier, you don't have to. I mean, look how beautiful that foiled. And this is Is this the opaque 65? Yeah, this is my opaque 65. And all of these papers, all except the copy paper, is in Nancy's Amazon shop. So if you're in the Foiling Snobs Club, you can go into units and click on Nancy's Amazon shop. And yes, I go in there, and that's how I order my papers, is through her Amazon shop. But very, very lovely, okay? So say like you got your machine. You spent a lot of money on your machine, but you're like, I don't have money for the expensive paper. That's all right. You know what? You can foil on copy paper, okay? These are some designs I was working on, but decided to print them all out. And this is just a full sheet of copy paper. How did this go? Something like this. Or something like this. I don't know. There we go. So that was a full sheet of copy paper. Okay. And I foiled it. Do you want to see how it looks? Foiled on copy paper. Okay. Now, we can see there's some leftovers, but I was having some issues with my printer. You'll see in some other pages. That's a lot of toner on there, and I need to fix my settings because this spottiness isn't my ink. It isn't the paper. Well, it could be the paper because it's copier paper. I mean, I don't really foil on copy paper. But if you received that, would you even know that it didn't foil 100%? And this is, no joke, this is just copy paper. Look, you know, you can see right through it. It is straight up copy paper, and it foiled. It foiled pretty good. Okay, for the most part, for what it is. But you could foil this. Now, granted, you can't watercolor on this, and you can't, you could use markers, you know, basic markers. Let me get some of those out. Do I have basic markers? Yes, I have some basic markers. I have cheap markers. You know that stores Five Below and well, no, where did I get these? I got these on clearance somewhere. But you know, you can color. This is copy paper. And why I picked this ugly color, don't ask. I don't know. Okay? But these are just a cheap pen I got on clearance somewhere. See? Oh, they're a Doris brand. Look at that. But you can add color with pens. Regular pens. I wouldn't use alcohol pens on this, but you could. And you're like, well, I'm too broke. I've got my copy paper, but, you know, I can't afford inks or anything. Well, go buy yourself a box of crayons. Those are like 80 cents. Oops. As I just color outside the lines. Okay. It doesn't have to be the most expensive project. You can still get fabulous results with not so fabulous priced. Well, I'll rephrase that. You can get really nice results with less expensive stuff. So I just went over that with some crayon. And if you work it, of course, you know, you can do your layering. If you got some Crayola colored pencils, you can just buy the small pack and layer up the colors. Let me find a purple here. Okay. Copy paper. Look at that. Copy paper and Crayola. So if you print up a design, you can go in there, fill it in, and you've got yourself the card front, okay? You can use this like practice to see how colors work, how pushing harder fills in those gaps, okay? So you can do blender techniques with Crayolas on copy paper, regular marker, crayon, okay, colored pencils. So we don't have to spend a lot. If you know, pace yourself if you need to. I mean, if you can save money, I cannot. I'm terrible at saving money. I kind of budget. I know I do my research, say, okay, I'm going to get this. I buy that, and then further down the road, I purchase the other stuff. Like my 120 pound paper. This is new to me. I've only had this stuff a couple of months. Tracy Schultz, well, that's an at. Let's see. Jean says that she's still in her jammies after shoveling 8 more inches of snow. Yeah, the snow's been kind of crazy. Hi, Miss Chow. How's the mummy-to-be doing today? Well, I guess you're... How's you doing? Let's see. Been getting that much like every other day. Lowest was 5 inches. Oh, I miss the thick snow. They told us we were going to have a lot of snow here, and it didn't turn out, and I was kind of disappointed. So, there's your copy paper. Okay. You get nice fine detail. Okay. It foils fairly decent. And that is your budget-friendly way to make a card. And then you can adhere it to your card base. You can cut it up. And because it is kind of see-through, you can play with that too and put pattern paper behind it, because it will kind of pick that up a little bit. Do we have a piece of pattern paper? Ugh. Okay, so you can play with that too. So this here, you can see the circles through it. It'd be very interesting to do something like that with your backing. So don't disregard your your least expensive tool, or tool, whatnot. Okay, so that was our copy paper. Okay. And that's your low man on the totem pole. That's super thin, super cheapy route. Now this here, I'm not sure what this was. I think it's a type of photo paper. You can see that it's browning on the edges. It's nothing I worry about. I still work with it. Go through your photo paper. Do a little test run, you know, to see if your printer will print on it and if it will adhere, okay? And then run a foil test, okay? Cheap, laying around the house for years, paper, copy paper, okay? Definitely you get a way smoother, until I touch it, super smooth compared to the copy paper. But if nobody knows really, that's still a really fabulous, you know, it's got its spots. But when you have run out of your good stuff and you still want to play, by all means play. Use that copy. And it's great for doing a test run. Like you're not sure how it's going to look. You know, you can use it as a test run and whatnot. But yeah, so this is just some questionable paper that I have no idea where I got it, but it prints just fine. Now, with this paper, any coated paper with my printer, when I first turn on that printer, the very first sheet gets like these heat indented marks, especially if it's coated. So what I do is I run a piece of copy paper through first, and then I do my fancy papers. Always, well, you don't have to, but I like to have copy paper on hand. And it comes in handy when you have weird stuff happen. And I'll explain that. So here's our copy paper. Here's some unknown photo style paper. It's super thin. This stuff here, if you have your inks, you can ink this stuff up, okay? It takes ink very nicely. Again, foil is a resist. You get your clean towel, okay? You can wipe that off, and it's less work if you're a little bit more careful, but that wipes right off. Again, you can pull out your cheapy markers, you know, do some funky backgrounds in there. You know, try different products on your stuff. Like, that smears a little bit. That's very interesting. Okay. This is, yep, this is a water-based. Okay. Copics. I don't own Copics. Never. But alcohol inks. Okay, you can try them. These, I'm not going to go through this, but this paper doesn't blend very smoothly like a lot of other papers would. But you can definitely use your alcohol inks on coated papers. Okay. Create some backgrounds, use some stencils. You know, maybe you want to do some stripies or something. You know, all sorts of stuff you can do. And this, again, is a less expensive paper. Not 65 pound, not close, but I would say it's closer to copy paper. I mean, it just to me, that's what it feels like. It's a little bit closer to copy paper, but it does have a little bit more stiffness to it. Can you see how the copy paper kind of just flops down, and this one holds up just a little bit better? Okay, so if I hold my hands, so it's got some stiffness to it, and it's not, well, it is. It's still see-through. So can we do that? So whatever you put it on, you will have some show-through, which you work with that. I mean, but if you're filling up your whole background, you're not going to see that anyways. And this shiny paper, I don't know, can we... You could try some interesting things with crayons. Ooh, did you see that? So you color with the crayon, and then it kind of... So you could get some interesting techniques with some crayon on it. Again, not very expensive. I do recommend Crayola crayons and colored pencils on the cheaper aspect. I've just used them for years. That part is not disappointing about them. But yeah, so you can play around with your Crayolas and do some interesting things. So that's my copy paper. That's my questionable stuff. And again, these are going to be pretty fun to work with. Oh, that's more of the questionable stuff. And I didn't dusty. I was in a hurry. Now, this is where my stuff went funny. So, this full sheet of paper, let me see if I can't put this back together. Remember how it went. Something like this. Okay. No, that was at the top. So, I had these two big items, and what I mean by big items is they have a lot of ink. And I put them at the top. And so, when it went through my printer, you can see that it didn't set right, and so it pulled the color down and it inked up my background. Okay, Now you can see, hopefully see it there. It got all mucky, but it didn't foil. Okay, so even though I had this covering the whole thing, this little shadowy area didn't foil. And I'm not sure, I've never had this really happen before. So let's see what we can do to fix it. I've got this eraser, I've got that kind of eraser, I've got that kind of eraser, and I have one of these. So if you have overprinting, the sand eraser does take it off. Look at that. Now, I'm not pushing super hard because I don't want it to eat up too much of the coating. And it is scratching the coating. Okay. So, let's see if we can't get that maybe to shine a little. Come on, focus a little. Okay, well, there is some scratching right here from the sand eraser, but it did take off some of that black. Let's try this old gum eraser. And that's not doing anything. The Mars plastic. That took some of it off. Okay, that took some of it off. Again, it's affecting the paper, but I wouldn't worry. Oops, my nail. So say like this one has it right here. That's not going to affect anything. If you go in, okay, color right over the top of it. See that? So it's, well, that's my nail, but like right here, there's a black spot, okay? You don't have to worry about it too much. It'll still fill in and color in and ink over and be fabulous. So if you have pages that do boo-boos, don't panic. You can still use them, okay? And then, again, this was the weird unknown paper. It's got photo paper qualities to it. Okay. And you just do a test run. That's all you can do. If you find some paper at a thrift store, bring it home and do a test run. Okay. And here's where it really showed up. I didn't notice it on this one. I printed that first and then I went to the heavier papers. But you can really see how it laid out some of that black over it. Now this is what's going to happen. When you have that happen, okay, I'll pull this off so we can see that. Now, see, it didn't foil it. It's not enough to foil, okay? So that's a good thing. But what I did is after I realized it, what I did is on my program, I took these two heavy black images and I switched them down, okay? So that they came out of the printer last. And then I printed a blank page, okay? I took a piece of copy paper, ran it through the thing, and made sure it came out clean. That way there it cleaned up any rollers, and then when I printed the next one, it came out clean. So if you have this weirdness, just make sure your heavy stuff is towards the bottom. Oh, that one did overfoil a little bit. Okay, you can see it there. So that one did pick up because it was extra heavy. But again, this is the Hamilco, and I've never had this problem. There is something changed in my settings or something. I'm not sure what happened. So that one doesn't want to clean up because it's This one turned out really, really thick. But again, I wouldn't worry about it. I would still use it. I would foil it, and then look at that. If you have a scan and cut, whatever, cut it out. Okay? So you could fussy cut or run that through your scan and cut, and you would get rid of all those icky bits, and you would never know. Okay? If you have a more substantial, and say like you don't foil, okay, and you might have this as a project and you had no intentions of foiling, you can still color over that. Okay, it's not going to affect anything too drastically. You can just say it gives it character. Okay, oops. Okay. Get that up there. Get that back over there. And let me grab a stamp really quick. Okay. We're going to put that right over the top of that with some, we'll use purple because we can. Okay, even if it does weird stuff, work with it, because you can hide it and then it looks purposeful, like that's supposed to be there. Okay, so don't panic if your printer does weird things. I didn't. I was like, oh, okay, well that's nice. I kind of ruined some papers. No biggie. You just go through and maybe you have to change your design a little, okay? But this is the Himilco, okay? As for the foiling part, okay, this paper is a little bit more expensive. Your quality of foiling is, as you go up in price, smoothness of your paper, as Nancy's mentioned umpteen times in her videos, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get better quality. The thicker the paper, the higher the heat setting. Now, none of the paper I used was in the 100 pound. I used 80 and less. So all of my foils went through on the level 3 on my Mama Mink. I might have used a level 2 on my Baby Mink. Okay. And that, you know, paper thickness really affects that, because you know you're heating up more stuff. So smoother paper, okay, super fine quality. I want to say the Himilco is around the 65. Okay, here's my opaque 65. To me, they feel very similar in weight. They don't give. They don't weigh down like the copy paper in this paper, okay? So we've got some good weight on the Himilco, which is, like I said, very similar to the opaque 65. Is this one opaque? Yes. Okay. And again, the opaque 65 pound paper is less expensive than the Himilco, but you're getting very similar qualities, okay? The biggest difference is going to come in your ink blendings and your alcohol blendings, okay? But very, very similar. And again, none of these are over 100 pounds. So if you're reading and you're seeing somebody saying they need to get a professional thing so that they can do 100 pound. No, you don't. And let me see if I can. Oops. Hold on one second. I want to pull out a little something. Okay. Before I got my printer, I did buy toner sheets. This one is deco foil, but it's branded by iCraft. Okay. Now, I'll show you something. Okay. See that? See the bend in that? That ain't no 100-pound paper. That's not a 65-pound paper. This has got a lot. Granted, the ink on there does add to the weight, but I would say it's more like my photo paper, which I don't. Yeah, it's lighter than 65 pound. This right here is lighter than my 65-pound paper. Hello, Mr. Ryan. Okay, so even deco foil, deco does not use 100-pound paper. And you can do this on your own printer. It's not as pretty, but you can do. I mean, look at this design. It's solid. Okay, you can print solid images with your printer and work with them. But yeah, just so you know, there's no, in my personal opinion, there is no reason to foil anything over 80 pounds. Okay, and if you want to make single layer cards, okay, you can do that with 80 pounds or 65 like I showed before. Oops. Get remember my little thank you cards here? 65-pound paper foils beautifully, even on the tinies. Okay, and I just ran it through the printer. You do your one design and then flip the other side. Okay, I ran it through the I think I did ink, the laser printer, and then the inkjet. Okay, and then I foiled it. It didn't stick to this at all, so you can do it all in one step, because I was afraid of sending the foil through the inkers. I didn't want to get messed up in my machine. So I foiled last. I did all my printing and then foiled last. Okay. That's a cute little one and done kind of card. You could print images, do a little stamp. Okay. And that's the other thing. If you're just getting started, you don't need the 100-pound base. You could take a nice thin one like this, do another design over the top. The sandwich will make it a little bit thicker. That's how I started out. My first papers were just little thinnies. I took note from Nancy in her umpteen videos. I was like, ooh, I like the Himilco. I want to try that. Ooh, she showed off the opaque. And I was like, I want to try that. So I purchased one month. I purchased another one another month, another payday. Okay, and you just kind of work it in there. And then the Nina, I had the Nina before the opaques. Nina 80. I think price wise, I think Nina is more expensive than the opaque. I think, don't quote me, but this is Nina 80. Okay. And you can see this one didn't have that craziness. I printed this one last, and what I did is after running, I ran a clean sheet of paper through, made sure it had nothing left over, then printed. It's more finicky, but at least I didn't have that over printing. Okay. And I think mainly I had the over printing because these designs were just, they're way thicker than most of the designs I do. Okay. So you've got your Nina. Okay. That's my Hamilco. Nina, I need you. Okay, Nina 80 and opaque 65. Can't see any difference in the print quality. Nina 80. I think this is the opaque 65. Okay. Foiling quality. Very similar. Very smooth. This one has a little bit more bumpies in the opaque. But again, I also had the extra foiling because it was being weird. Okay. I hope I'm in frame. There's a lot of lag. And let's see. So the Nina is a little bit more expensive, but beautiful. And again, the ink blending, the markers, all that stuff, crayons. Yeah, you can crayon your Nina. Nina, let's do some purple. Green and purple. Those are the Joker's colors. Okay. So if you're just getting started and you're like on a budget and you can't afford the fancy schmancies that you really want, get something less expensive just to play around with. Okay. You know, and with crayon, you can go in and get some really crazy stuff because it layers. There's a bump in my paper, a bump in my table. Okay. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars right away to get some fun stuff going on. Doo-doo-doo. That's a very interesting background. I'm liking that. Sorry. I gotta go. Gotta go. Keep going with this. And if you're going and you're like, oh my God, that was hideous. I don't know what I was doing. You know, especially something like this, grab your scissors, chop it out. Okay. And now, ta-da-da-da, this is my first time foiling on this one. My Catherine Pooler sample that Miss Nancy sent me. And again, it was one of the ones I sent through that had the extra foiling on it. And again, that's my printer issues, my printer settings. But look at how pretty that is. There's less bumping in it too. Some of these other ones have like little pitums in there. Ugh, isn't that just gorgeous? And your Catherine Pooler, you can use markers on that too. And this one is a little bit more expensive than some of the others. You know, this would be a quality paper to do your print and fold kind of cards. If you just want a single unit, this would be a nice quality for that. Ugh, so nice. But yeah, I just really want to let you guys know, and if you're new to my channel, new to FSC, if you're watching this because you're like foiling on paper, I need some advice. Hopefully you can take away that you can start on that copy paper. You can check that stuff out that you've had hanging around and you're not sure what it is. Try it out. The worst it's going to do, well, the worst. I sent a sheet of paper through, this was so funny. I sent marker paper. That's what it was. Marker paper through the Brother, and it was so thin and the coating was so weird that when the heat hit it, it wrapped itself around the spool in my Brother. I had to take an X-Acto knife and cut it away. So even if you have a catastrophe, it's fixable. If you're not sure what to do, the Foiling Snobs Club on Facebook can help you. You're always welcome to email me at chatwithsassy, and you know, we'll work through it. We'll try and get you figured out. So if you get paper wrapped around inside your printer, you can fix it. Trust me, I've done it. Hello, eager crafter. Thanks for joining us today. But yeah, so if you spent the money on the printer, okay, you can play around before you get your foiling machines, okay? Play around with your copy paper, test runs. I do test runs on my copy paper all the time. But, this one needs... You can do quite a bit. Like I said, oh, I just had an idea. You know, I said you didn't want to watercolor it, but you know what you can do? You can jelly print with copy paper. I do that all the time. Copy paper is my paper of choice for jelly printing. And then, which just hit my little brain pan. Okay, so here's my copy paper. Say I foiled it. And that's another thing. If you don't want to foil, you don't have to. Okay, my designs, and a lot of anything out there. If you want to foil it, foil it. If you don't want to foil it, you don't have to. Oh, look at all this wonderful goodness. I'm going to have so much fun. I need to make some St. Patty's Day cards over on Crafting, Debbie's Crafting Corner Facebook. I don't know. I'm probably saying it wrong. I have a card swap coming up with St. Patty's Day. So I'm excited for that. It's kind of why I was working on these. Okay. Oh, Miss Nancy. Well, hello. Yep, snowstorm coming. Okay, so I've got some ink down. Okay. I'm going to give a little squirt. Okay. You know what? Let me get that in there too. You probably can't see that one. That one's probably off the wall. So I'm going to take my copy paper right into this pale green color. Wave that dry a little bit. Then I'm going to come in and pick up some of the green, the darker green. Okay, and then I've just added color to that. Isn't that lovely? Let's go fix that one too. Oh yeah. Ooh, this one needs some blue. Come here, blue. Blue, blue. So even though I wouldn't like use a paintbrush in watercolors because it's not going to do what watercolor paper does, but you can add texture and fun. Oh, look at that. And that's just copy paper. Just copy paper. Okay, and you can still glue that right to the front of a card. Take your time cutting that out. Okay, look at that. And then, ooh, with that, okay, so then you could take that, put it with that, and then say like, you're like, no, I need more. I need more. Maybe these are, I don't know what these are. We can come in and add some color. Look at that. Oops, not that end. We want the big fatty end. These are cheapy pens. Oops, that one's ugly. That one I shouldn't have used. It's too dark. But I'm committed now. I'll just do a couple. I'll do that one. And then these ones. Okay. Yeah, I should have used that one. My bad. No, I need one more. We're gonna go right here. Dang it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you can copy paper. Isn't that lovely? And a little bit of ink. And if you don't have ink, you can use watercolors. Crayola has, you know, those Crayola, where's your watercolors? Pardon me, okay, so if you're at the dollar store or wherever, you know, and you don't have money for inks and you're like, you really want to try this ink smushing stuff, you see that? If you're more careful, you're not going to get mud. But I don't know if I want to use that one now. Let's try this one. Okay, it's a little bit too thin for my liking, but say you picked up a paintbrush. Just add some color in there. Get some green in there. And then when it dries, it'll be interesting. Get that to dry, and then we'll see how that looks. Because right now, you can really see through it because I did lay a lot of water on there. And that's why it looked kind of weird the first time around. I had too much water in there.
He's so fluffy, I'm gonna die!
I am so sorry, people. I forgot to turn on my Do Not Disturb. That was my little niece. I will have to call her back. All right. Are we still there? Get out of there. Still rolling. Woohoo! Okay. Some of the cheaper stuff you might have to build up. Less water, more water. Hi, Jean from Houston. Power came. Yay. We'll cross our fingers that it stays. Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for joining. We are talking about paper and foiling today, and that I've been between watching YouTube videos and reading some posts on other groups, not in the foiling snobs. It's like they're stuck on this heavyweight paper is the only thing you can foil on. And if you've seen Nancy's multiple videos, as I have, because that's where I got hooked, and watching her videos and paying attention to the paper she's using and her recommendations, I made my decisions based on that and based on testing my favorites. I love the Catherine Pooler. It is a little bit more expensive, so until I can afford that transition, I am going to stick with my Nina, my Hamilco for extra special projects. I don't pull that one out as much as some of my other papers. And my accent opaque papers. I have the 65-pound accent opaque and the 100 and some pound accent for my card bases. Okay, so I have a little bit of a variety, which I've been, you know, I didn't buy it all at once. I bought a little bit here, I bought a little bit there, and I just planned my budget to say I need paper. And before I even got the Nina, I was using Park Lane from Joann's. And granted, the color's a little bit different, but it worked for me. It blended, it did good stuff. But once I got the Nina, which is way whiter, I kind of went with that. And then to the accent, because that one I think is a little bit less expensive. But they foil so beautifully. And I don't foil anything over my 80. I just don't see the need to foil my card base. And if I want to make a single card, again, that's my 65-pound, okay? My solid print and go cards are just a 65-pound. Most of my creative cards are going to be layered onto this, so you can use anything you want on your card base, and it's gonna have structure and stability. Even if your base was 65-pound, your base could be this. I mean, let's get real. If you're making a card and you're working with what you have, nobody is gonna fuss and muss that it's made out of paper like this. Yep, Nancy uses cheap 100-pound for her her bases. Her 80-pound Himilco is her #1. And like I said, that's my specialty. That one goes to extra special cards. It's nice. It blends nice. It's got some super good qualities. But if you're working on a budget, pull out your copy paper. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of decoration on your copy paper. It will foil. Granted, it will not foil as beautifully as your thicker, smoother papers. But if you're just getting started, you know, they're not going to know. If you don't have fancy, schmancy alcohol inks and whatever, you know, I'm not joking here. Crayola, crayons, and crayons, colored pencils, they do some fabulous, you can do some fun stuff with that stuff. And until I got my Prismas, I've gone through some Crayolas in my time, let me tell you. They're good, affordable. Anybody can use them. Pull them out when you got your nieces and nephews and your grandkids. Grab some color books. You know, get crafty. And that's the other thing. If you have color books, chop up those images. Okay? Technically, that's all that is. That's a coloring page. If you have a little one that loves Pokemon and you're like, I can't afford to print one or whatever, but you have a Pokemon color book, pull it out, snip that page out, make a card out of a color book. You can use whatever you want. You do not have to follow that weird crowd that thinks only 100-pound paper works. Because as I showed you before, Deco Foil, one of the main people out there making foil and these toner sheets, they are not using 100-pound paper. Okay? So, don't get suckered into that. Use whatever you have. Again, if you have something that's got a nice coating and you're not quite sure, just run it through the printer. As I mentioned, I have to warm up my printer. This cannot be the first page through it, otherwise it leaves these weird indents. But as soon as the printer is evenly heated, these run through just fine. I don't know what it is. It's just a weird glossy paper. Okay, and the other thing is, if you don't want to invest in foils, print those designs and color them. You don't have to foil them. You can use your alcohol markers. You can do whatever makes you happy. And if you make a boo-boo, see, right out the line, no big deal. Nobody's going to notice. I'll just cover it up. Maybe we can go in and say, put in some dots. So I'm going to go right over the top of that dot with a different dot. That's not a very good dot maker, but, you know, nobody said I was perfect. Sometimes I make a lot of boo-boos. There's always a way. A way to fix a boo-boo. Always a way to fix the boo-boo. Joyce is waiting for her third snowstorm in a week. I hope you guys are all being safe out there during your weird weathers. I think I heard somebody on the news, I don't know what I was hearing, but they were having super high heats somewhere. Yes, Queen of Boo-Boos! And we can work them out. Accent Opaque 100 is good for card base. Yes, definitely. Go out there and try stuff. If you're not 100% sure, you know, the worst you're going to do is you're going to get it, and it's not going to be your favorite. Well, use it up. Nobody's going to know. Use it up, and then try another one. So, say like there's 5 companies that make the 100-pound. Buy the 100-pound from one. Use it up. Buy the 100-pound from another. Use it up. Take notes. Say, you know, I like this for this, but I didn't like it for that. Your next one that comes in, compare your notes. Okay? You don't have to do 100-pound, because that is not, okay? I wouldn't be able to do that with that. That's not 100-pound paper. Don't let them fool you. Do you. Copy paper all the way up will foil. Granted, the smoother, the higher the quality, the better the foiling is going to be. Okay? But again, let me find my little copy one. Ooh, there's this Catherine Pooler one. Isn't that so pretty? The Nina. Okay? Ooh. Foiling. So here's my copy paper. You can see that it didn't adhere 100%, but, you know, if you're sending it to somebody that's never seen foiling before, they're not going to know that that's not 100%. And then as you know, grow and build your stash of what you like, okay, you move into your fancy papers. Any questions? Let me scroll up, because I have been a very bad hostess and I haven't been reading my comments. And if you are a member of the FSC, keep an eye out. Something you've seen here may wind up there. If you are liking my Chat with Sassy Facebook group, something else might show up there. Okay, so definitely want to check those out. Let me roll up. Oh, I missed quite a few. Let's see, Jean, while up there, says I have to try copy paper, Elizabeth. Yes, just different stuff, different techniques give you different results. Tracy said something was pretty. Yep, perfect for St. Patty's Day. Most definitely. I was rolling through these designs and it's so much fun. They're symmetrical because I used in Illustrator. I set up one of my templates to do reverse image, mirrored image, so that when I did a butterfly, well, that's what I used. Aside from the stem, I made these they're perfectly symmetrical. So it was fun. I used my butterfly maker to do those. And then Nancy showed up and everybody said hello. And Brittany, hi Brittany. I didn't see you pop in because I was a bad host. And Joyce says, Elizabeth, I love your honesty and you're so sincere in how you share your card making with us. Well, thank you, Joyce. That's because I was you. just getting into this. I mean, I've scrapbooked years ago, and then I found Nancy, and I was like, okay, I got to start this card making. It's a lot of fun. Nancy is sick of the snow. Yeah. Eager Crafter says, we are just ugly and gray right now. It rained today, and now it's in the 60s. Ugh. Kind of weird weather. Hello. Jen says there's rolling outages. I feel for everybody. I have a Facebook friend who's been sitting in a blackout, I guess. They are not turning their power back on. And it's kind of weird. Jen says, I'm using up my Nina 80 pound, but will be switching to Catherine Pooler for her cards and use my cheapie 100, 110 for the bases. Exactly. And she bought the Himilco for foiling and don't even own a laser printer yet. Keyword yet. And that's all right. Sometimes we go backwards. There's nothing wrong with that. The paper's not going to go bad. That's a nice thing. It's one of those things. Crayons, the things you invest in, okay? I've had these pens, I don't know, it's almost 2 years now. I barely use them. They work great still, as you saw. 2 years for these crayons. We bought these when we moved. Because the other ones melted. Apparently, Crayola doesn't like it in a storage unit when it gets hot. That was a mess. I had Crayola goo to clean up everywhere. And then Candace showed up. Hello, Candace. All right. And Miss Stacy. Hello, Stacy. So do we want to... It's 8 o'clock, so I have had you for an hour. Do you guys want to hang out and make a card? Do you guys have something else to do? What would you like to do? Because I could totally make a card with that one. Ooh, or that one. That one. Oh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? Oh, where'd my little sample one? Oh, my little wet one. See, it's drying. It's working on it. Nice light color. I could heat it with a tool, but look at that. What you can do with copy paper. Isn't that fun? Yes, the whole gang has made it. I feel so special right now. All right. So I am going to do, this is the Nina 80. Let's work on the Nina 80. Let me just clean up a little because I've got some watercolor goo. Okay. So, we we've got our Nina. Make sure that's all nice and dry. Susie, hello. I have been in a craft slump. Oh, Susie, why are you in a craft slump? That's not good. Let's see. We're going to do some blue. In case anyone is wondering, no, my inker thingies are by Bree Reese. They are super hard to find anymore, but they're like a foam. They're not like the sponge. Okay, I use these for my distress inks, but these, I found them by accident, and I really liked how they applied the ink. But there's your Nina 80 pound. Look at it, just love that ink. Isn't that just beautiful? Oops. That's the Nina 80. Let's do the CP. Aw, thank you, Miss Tracy. You're such a sweetheart. Ugh, look at that. That's the Nina and that's the Catherine Pooler. Aren't they just gorgeous? That's what you get with the smoother paper. Okay, and you can see, like, even there. Let's see if I can't recreate that here. No, okay. So, here's a prime example. The better the quality, this is what's going to happen. You see how this filled in so nice? And then we have the little speckies here. Unless you had this in front of you and you were doing this, you would not think there was anything wrong with that. Frankly, there is nothing wrong with that. Okay? It's just a different technique. But look at, same color, same application. So gorgeous. So fabulous. Okay. And I think I used the wrong one in there, but that's okay. Where's my other one? My spongies. I must have cleaned them or something. They're not all colored like they used to be. That's all right. Okay. And that was another thing about these Bree Reese sponges. They clean off. They're very, very interesting. I'm going to get my lighter blue. Oops, I need some paper. I need some paper. Ooh, can hear you. You are screaming, you need some blue. So I have these little backgrounds that I start all over the place. Well, they're not all over the place. They're in like one spot. Tap, lift, and twist. Tap, lift, and twist. Tap and twist. Tap and twist. Ooh. No ink wasted. Look at that yumminess. Ooh, I love it. I like cleaning up my ink with other paper. Okay, let that one dry. Dry that. Okay, we're going to come in with the lighter color. Oops. I think that was still wet. There we go. Could tell it was wet because this was slight. There, it's still kind of grippy. Look at that. And this is the Catherine Pooler. Isn't it so pretty? Let's go in with the Nina. And you could bust out a lot of cards. You know, you just print a crap ton of them. Foil the bejeebers out of them. Don't foil them. It don't matter. Ooh, let's pick that up with that. It didn't really add to it, but that's okay. I was having YouTube withdrawals. The first thing my daughter said, "Mom, watch your YouTube. TV has been on since." Yeah, sometimes we just gotta do those fun YouTubers out there. I was watching Miss Tracy's, some of her older ones from like 2 years ago the other day. You're such a sweetheart. I love watching your videos. I don't remember what I was watching because I turn a lot of those YouTubes on and just hit play. So it's like she's chatting over on my TV, and so I can look over every now and then as I'm crafting. That's how I like to craft, with my YouTube friends on. Gel printing next on my to-do list. Yeah. Somebody used the circle, and I was like, man, I really want the circle one. And I was like, I wonder if Amazon has it. Well, I should have known better. I went and freaking looked on Amazon. Not only do they have circles, did you know they have shapes? They've got a 3-pack that has a triangle, a circle, and a square, and a pack that has like a medallion. Is the medallion, what is the medallion with? Like a diamond. I want to say there's one with a stop sign. I mean, there was different shapes. There was even a cloud, ellipse, and a heart in one pack. So they're sitting in my Amazon shop, my wish list. Okay, so now we got those. Now let's bring in some green. Got to get some overzealous. Now these are water-based. Yes, yes. So, okay. Water-based. And then if I want to go in and color more, I'm going to grab my alcohol markers so I don't mess up what I put in. Ugh, isn't that just a lovely green? That's the infamous overzealous. When I saw this color, I was like, okay, I think I just need to invest in the set. And I was so happy that I invested in this set. And I call it investment because, like I said, they don't go bad. They will be here forever. You get the re-inkers. Okay. Ugh, look at that. So vibrant. So lovely. Look at that. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's the other thing. Don't have to be perfect. Look at that. Little green overzealous in there. Okay, so I did those in water-based, and I'm like, oh, I want to go over it. Well, what do you want to go over it with? You want to go over it with some alcohol markers, some Crayola pencils. I think so. Let's try this one. And this one. It may not show up very well over the green, but you won't know unless you try. Yeah, it's not fabulous, but it's not terrible either. Because you have that green still showing through. But they're not going to blend together. The pink is going to sit on top of it. Okay, let me try you with you. Yes, I like smoothing. June says hello to everyone. Well, hello to June. Yep. I don't know, the smooshing, there's a lot of stress because you put it down, or not stress, but a relief, you know, there's no thinking, you spritz, you just tap and twist and tap, and then you come up, and each time you get this new effect. It's soothing, and I really, really enjoy crafting. I mean, it is just fun. That one may be too light, but I kind of like it. See, these are just what is it, $15 for the 100 count? $15, $20. I don't think it costs very much for the 100 count. I'm gonna try this green. I just need it to speak a little bit more. There we go. That brighten that right up. Okay, let me do that with the pink one. Let's try this pink one. Ooh, that's better. It's better. I like it. I like it a lot. There we go. Mixing some inks, ink pads with some colored pencils. How fun is that? Nothing spectacular, or, you know, just whatever makes you happy. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not being overly careful. I mean, it's not gonna, the lines are pretty thick. I'm not gonna go over the lines too easily. Just go in a circular motion and just fill that in. But of course, you could take your time and do the highlights and the lowlights and all that stuff. I'm a instant gratification kind of person. The sooner I can get it done, the better. So I don't always go for the highlights and the lowlights. Some projects it needs it, and then others, eh. And then do these ones in a little bit darker. I don't know if I want to color that one. I think I'm going to leave that one though. I don't even know what that is. some weird swoop. There we go. Okay. And of course you can go in with your blue a little bit better. You could, ooh. Just 1 second though. Arteza shimmers. Yes. Arteza, come to the rescue. Oops. Okay, so we're gonna go with this one. And know that when you go over a water-based ink with more watery stuff, it's going to do some weird texture-y stuff, okay? And these are the Arteza Metallics. Oh, they're so much fun. And I use them, surprisingly, I use them a lot, but it doesn't seem like it because you don't need a whole lot. Even though I go back, it's barely touching the surface, okay? It's a little bit of green because, you know, that green is sticking out a little bit. It's no biggie. Just do that part last, like so. Clean the brush. I think I need that set, Elizabeth. How do you... I love this set. This set, like I said, I've played with it a lot. Surprisingly, if I need shimmer, I go to it. It's quick. Oops. And the effects on black, that's fun too. I did some Christmas cards in another video, another live, and I did these metallics on black. It's lovely. Okay. Oh, look at. And because it's water on the ink, it gives it this weird texture. Ugh. It's so lovely. So you can mix it up. We had ink, paint, watercolor painties. Yep, definitely. You're no spindy because these are kind of spindy. I won these. I'm so blessed. I won these. But when I run out, when I run out, I will be purchasing them again because they're just fabulous. And when they came, they all came individually wrapped, which I thought was adorable and kind of annoying. I had to open them up. Okay, so let's do that one. We're going to set aside. And then we're going to use, I pulled out some purple. So alcohol ink right over the top. Because you can. Nobody said you couldn't. Look at that. Doo-doo-doo. Granted, the color is going to be different because you're setting it on top of another color. So you could do like a little swatch. You know, you could take this green and put it on another piece of paper and then run your colors over it to see how it's going to look together. That's almost a grayish color there. See, super basic, no shading, no nothing. Because I'm lazy. Because I'm lazy like that. Ooh, that's pretty. And you're probably thinking, well, then why did you color it all green and then you're going over the top of it? Because I wasn't sure. I don't know. I wasn't sure if I wanted to color it. And then I was like, yeah, let's color it. Oh, that almost looks like a butterfly. That's too funny. I would definitely foil first. Okay. Because even if you get a teeny bit of alcohol on your foil, it's not really going to be noticeable. And if you catch it quick enough, you can wipe it off. I've even used a Q-tip to clean the lines. You know, you get a little cotton wrapped around a toothpick and clean off Twinkle H2Os. Yeah, see, those would work too. I don't have those. But I would assume they'd be very similar to that. Just use it like a paintbrush. I don't know. I don't have them. Okay, I did that. Did I do that one? I don't know. Which one did I do? Well, they're very similar. That's why I can't tell them apart. Ta-da! I don't know which one's which, but that's okay. A very funky looking clover. There we go. Ta-da! Ooh, wrong end! Wrong end! Hello from Washington! Hello, Lisa! I used to live in Washington, and now I live in Ohio. And I'm kind of glad we don't have as much snow, but kind of sad at the same time. I want to be up where Nancy is because she's got more snow than I do. And a couple of y'all have way more snow than I do. Hi, Regina. I didn't see you sneak in. Oh, gotta fix this. There's little dots. There we go. Our crazy, weird clover, which doesn't have to be a clover. It doesn't have to stay that way. It can be whatever you want it to be. Isn't that fabulous? I love it. Water-based on top of alcohol markers. Yes, you can do that too. Doesn't really show up there though. I wanted kind of polka dots. I wanted polka dots. There. That's all right, I guess. Regina is talking about or thinking about moving, but we don't like the cold. Lisa moved from Ohio. It's funny how that works. Chow and I don't have snow. I'm good with that. Yeah, I would miss snow. I like the snow. All right, so somebody didn't measure these. I really didn't measure those, did I? Dorcas. That's okay. We'll figure it out. That's okay. That's not the one I want. I need my other chop chop. So, my card bases are a half a sheet of paper, which is 4 1/4. And why does that look crooked is sin. No, it's not. It might be. So 4 1/4. 4 1/4. I think that is a little crooked. Trim it off. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Look at that. That one fits that whole front panel. But I screwed it up somehow. So let's make it smaller. I screwed it up. I know exactly how I screwed it up. So 5 1/4. A little bit off of each end by 4. Almost lobbed off my thumb. Did you see that? There, that's better. So now we need to ink the edges. And what are we going to ink it with? Some distress ink. Because why not, right? So we have the nice smooth blending from our blender. And now we're going to get a little bit crazy texture. I'm not doing it at a sharp angle because right now I just want to get the edge with a nice layer of blue. Okay. Now once I do that, I'm going to tip my so it catches just a little bit more. Not a ton, just a little bit. A little bit more in a couple of spots because I made a boo-boo right there. So there we go. So now we inked up our edges, and what that does is it just makes a better transition between the white and the colored. Look at that. And it makes, I don't know, it just, that extra darkness against there, it just helps that separation. I like the snow to play with, and from inside with a cup of coffee. Yeah. We used to sit on our porch and watch it snow, cuddled in blankies with a little fire pit. Can't do that where we're at now, drinking hot cocoa and stuff. Okay, so that one is a good one. But I lost my lid. Okay, so I like that. I will finish that one up. Now let me see what kind of disaster I got into here. What size is this? 4.5. And it's not even straight 4.5. What the hey? So when your paper's not straight and you use one edge to straighten one side, okay, you want to use that same edge to straighten the other side. So I'm going to flip my paper over, and I know I can take off a hair easily. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's not, it sticks out more on this end. Okay, but I'm using this top piece as my guide. So I cut this side, I flipped it over literally upside down, so I keep that there. Then I can trim it. Now, this is straight with this, and so either side that I use to trim the bottom will be straight. And this will also be straight up at the top. So this is 5.25. And then we're gonna do, this is 4.5. I need to take off quite a bit. So 4.25. I can't take off that much on that side. So we're going to take off that on that side and then flip it and then hit that 4.25. Oh no, I need it a little bit smaller than 4.25, don't I? Yep. Okay. Take off a little bit on that side. Super thin on that one. Okay, let's see if we can. That's all right. That's all right. So here, I've got an extra little bit here, and so what I'm going to do is actually trim it off of the card base. I'm going to take just a hair off of the card bottom. Make sure that's my front. And so now when I put this on it, it's going to be more even because I can't cut anymore. It's not going to look nice. I'll take off just a hair more, and then I'll be okay with that. It'll just be a neat thing. Different and unique. There we go. I lived in Jersey many moons ago, but I'm a Caribbean girl. I'm jealous. I've never been anywhere like that. And she says, I'm the only one texting. That's because they're out there being crafty and cleaning house and sipping their coffee. That's right. They're here. We know that they're there. Okay. That's going to have a super thin white. Oops, that's the wrong side. Double check. I trimmed that side. I have a feeling I trimmed them both. Nope. Okay, I did good. There we go. Fabulous. And we're going to do this one. Color should I do that one? Do we want to ink the edges on that one? Yeah, we'll use this one. Almost a blackish color against this blue. Just like so. Super thin, super thin. Double stick tape. because you know that's wonderful. Now, I did get this paper wet, so it is a little bit buckly. Buckly? Is that a word? I don't know, but we're using it today. And that doesn't bother me at all. You can spritz it and dry it from the backside, put a book on it. If I'm in a hurry, like always, I just take my wet glue, okay, and you just add your wet glue to the back, like so. Boop, boop, boop. Don't need a ton. Get a little bit in my corners though. Okay, now this wet glue is going to be your moisture, which is going to allow it to sit flat. Ooh, Candace is organizing the ink. Yeah. Okay, and now I'm going to, oops, nope. Right there. Okay, so now I've got that wet glue under there. Okay, I'm just going to put this under something heavy, and in 10-15 minutes it will be flat as a pancake. Come here, get under there. Flatten, just like so. And Chow says she's doing okay. That's good to hear. Sandy is trying to organize the desk. You can do it. I had to reorganize the other day again. I don't know. I reorganized several times since I've moved. Trying new things. Trying to make things work. This one, that'll be all right. I don't know if I want the background white. I kind of think I want this piece pink-ish. Question is this pink going to look good with that pink? The closest I can be from the Caribbean is Miami. No, I don't know if that one's going to be the one. Next! Those two almost look the same in this format. Ooh, that one's almost dry, but I like it. So I'm just going, because this is almost dry, I'm just going to go right around the edge. I don't need a lot, because remember that panel is going to cover it. But I like this color. There we go. This one's candied. Oh yeah, I like that better. And if you do something like this and you're like, oh, I don't like it, don't throw this away. Just set it aside, and you can do 100% cover up with another sheet of paper, or find something that does go with it. But I like it, so it's going to get used. Yep, Candace, sometimes we gotta find that extra special something to help it pop. Sometimes it shows up and sometimes it doesn't, though, and that's okay. August 7th is the due date. Woohoo! Ciao! The 7th is a good day. I was born on the 7th of December. All right. There we go. Make sure we get it up. And nope. There we go. There we go. Ta-da! So, there it is. 2 cards. 2 very weird cards. I don't know about this one. It's interesting. So, out of all of my weird printing, this one was the Catherine Pooler, and this one was the Nina 80 pound. Okay. Super fun. Ugh, some metallics in there. And then this one, yep, that's the Catherine Pooler one. But just know, you guys, make a list of the pros and the cons of what you want to invest in. And yes, you are investing in paper. Kim in Alaska says, I don't know how you work with those fingernails. They are so long. They're actually short. I've had them much longer. But you actually get used to them. When I first had my nails done, they were super short. And then they'd grow out, and I didn't have her trim them down. And they just kept growing and growing. And you just get used to it. And like typing, I love it because it is like clicky clicky. I'm a loud typer. And then when I started doing them myself, it was a couple of months after the last nail fell off from when I was having them done in Washington. And all I was basically waiting to do was waiting for them to grow out, because, you know, as you shed old acrylic, it tears up your nails a little bit. But, and I was getting the courage to get the stuff to do my own nails, and they started off super short. And then as they just grow, I just fill them in and let them go. But yeah, they're actually shorter than normal. I've been trying to keep them kind of short because when I go to swipe, I mark my paper. Okay. I like them. The border, yeah. Just weird. It's just a weird one today. But definitely know that you can pull out your Crayolas, your alcohol inks, your markers from the clearance rack. If you don't have fancy papers, you can see if that weird coated paper will work in your printer. The Himilco. I need to finish that one. I like how that one's going. I think I'm going to do that one like that. Hey, what's the measurements of the skinny slim lines, the short ones? That might be a nice slim line. Yeah, my nails, I just put acrylic over the top of my nails. I didn't have the little tips or anything. So the very first time I did them, it was just literally right up to the edge. And say like I break it right there, I just use the acrylic to fill it in. And then my nails are under there and I sand them out. I need to sand them out. They're getting gross. Regina has to cut her 3.5 by 8.5. I think that's a full, because they have the new short slim lines now. So would it be 3.5 by, no, that's, okay. 3.5 by 8.5, that's weird. I think that's what I've been working. I don't know. I'm confused now. Kim in Alaska. My nails have always been flimsy. Yeah, mine. Okay, we're not going to look at the front of that. But, yeah, so 8.5 by 3.5. That's what this one is. So maybe they've been making their slim lines the other way, and so they're even longer. Maybe I've always been making the short ones. 3 by 6. Ooh, 3 by 6 would be fun. Ooh, is this 6? I could totally do that with this piece of paper because it's 6.5. Cool. I'm gonna, here, let me write that down because my dumb ass will forget. 3 by 6. 3 by 6. That's what I'm gonna do. Mini slim line. I'm gonna try it. Okay. Yes. Thank you very much, everyone. I will be doing that with that one. But, yeah. And if you can't afford Copics, I did invest in the Arteza. I like them. I also have the Spectrums, which what I have of the Spectrums and these, they kind of go in, but there's still some colors I wish they would do more of, like oranges. There's not very many good oranges. But, yeah, copy paper, weird paper. I should do something with that one. I like that one, too. But, if you're in the Foiling Snobs Club, keep an eye out. I should be posting something very soon. And then, if you like and follow my Chat with Sassy Facebook page, I will also be posting something different there. And if you look back in my posts on Chat with Sassy, I did share a design there several weeks ago. But hopefully I'll be more regular with my sharing and stuff. Get back to doing it once a month for the FSC and Chat with Sassy. And if you're in both places, it'll be different. So if I shared this at FSC, it would not be shared at Chat with Sassy. So you would get something different. Alrighty. Kind of got off track there towards the end. Sorry. But any questions? Copy paper, foil. I got the last one off a Chat with Sassy. Fabulous. Because I think I forgot to post the one in FSC because we were going through the transition for the new requirements for posting. So I'll probably post a couple in the FSC there. So definitely check it out. Alrighty, my friends. I've probably had taken up enough of your time, and I'll be working on that. So follow Chat with Sassy, and I'll put that in there when I finish that one and see how that one turns out. And I think I'm going to mail this one off for my card swap. That one. Bye, dear. Love you.
Dinner's in the microwave.
Thank you. Alrighty. You're very welcome, Kim. Thanks for showing up and supporting me and my channel. Whoop, whoop. Alrighty, my lovelies. I hope you have a fabulous evening and get your good stuff done that you needed to. You're organizing and cleaning, and hopefully, I'm sorry I forgot who lost their mojo, but hopefully you find some crafty mojo and make something fabulous. Thanks again for joining. I do appreciate you all so very much, and we will see you next Wednesday. But is it this Saturday? Oh. Ciao. Is it this Saturday for Stamp Wars. I forget what day it is. Because my brain has just took a dump. $17. Yeah. Okay. So I will see you guys at Nancy's channel on Saturday. So, bye everyone. Okay. You're welcome, Sherry. Thanks for showing up. Night, Tracy. Night, everyone.